Hello and welcome to Love Talk. Have you ever had the feeling where you're trying to make that person change in something you've been going on about on and on and on and on, and the person doesn't seem to change? Has that happened to you?
Are you trying to say something to me?
I don't know, maybe I've been trying to tell you for 14 years of marriage that you can't be late when we have an appointment, and you have a schedule to keep, and my schedule is important. You need to follow my schedule. It's impossible to live like this.
You know, the problem here with my husband is this, okay? He is very, very, and I know this is no surprise to you because we've mentioned this before on the show. He likes everything on time, in place, and you know, he likes to organize everything and people.
And the world flows better when things are like that.
For you, not for me, because that stresses me out. So yeah, you could never change that about me, sorry.
And the interesting thing about this, we were talking about this today, is that, you know, I was thinking that what calms me down, which is to have all these timekeeping schedules and all these things, is what stresses you out.
Exactly,
right?
Yes.
Because if you want to see Helena stressed, just remind her of the time. Just tell her, listen, we need to leave in 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute and a half.
Do you realize that most of the population or whoever is watching us now is agreeing with me? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm sure no one stands anyone behind you like, oh, are you ready? Are you ready? Oh, you need this, you need that. Oh, did you remember this? Look at the time.
But I'm sure there are people who are agreeing with me, at least.
Well,
someone out there.
In that case, I challenge those people. Actually, I will take this opportunity to tell you our email address. We have an email address. You can email us your questions. And why not email me telling me that you agree with James?
Or if you agree with her, agree with me, I won't be upset with you.
The email address is lovelab@lovetalkshow.tv, okay?
And actually, we spoke to a few couples about things that they've tried for years to change about their partners without success. Here's a few of the things that they said.
Have you ever tried to change something about your partner?
Many things.
Tell us what.
My husband has a very, very, very annoying tick, you know, that he does with his mouth, that really makes me like my skin crawl.
I've never tried to change, but remember the toothpaste situation? You know, I press it at the bottom like, you know, normal people do. She just goes anywhere. I've lost that battle, but yeah, it would be nice to, when you pick up the toothpaste, oh, there's another one. Sometimes she opens bottles and then doesn't screw the tap properly, right? So, you know your roll-on. I like to shake the roll-on before I use it. She leaves it uncapped. As soon as I'm gonna shake it, the cap flies all over the place. Sometimes scares me.
Oh yeah, loads of things.
Like what?
I don't know. Is a wet towel in the bed, socks in the corridor, mess in the living room.
Because I used to go to the gym before. Now that we have a daughter, very naughty, you know, 3 years old daughter. So I don't have that much time to be spending for myself. So I was always active, and I would like her to be more active in life because I like a partner who's active as well.
Sporty, yeah?
Very sporty, I like, you know.
He has this one habit when he's eating. He eats really fast and he makes this smacking noise, and I can't stand it. And sometimes I mention it to him, but he always goes back. So I should give up. I'm still trying, but it's probably not going to change.
When something's wrong, so she's silent, and then out of nowhere, wow, something just, and then I'm like, that was a bit out of nowhere. Yeah. So I never really know it's okay, just walking. So, yeah.
My partner is near to perfection, but he's not there yet. And the thing that I find him so annoying is the fact that he wants me to be exactly like him. He wants me to do everything he does. He's such a perfectionist. He cleans the house better than I do. He washes the dishes better than I do. He irons better than I do.
He washes the dishes better than you do. You don't even wash them.
Anyway.
I'll get to you soon. Hold on.
But he wants me to be exactly like him. He wants me to be as perfect as him. And I find that so annoying. I just want you to accept me for who I am.
Oh, there's so many, but let me see. I just want to
keep things the way I left them. Simple. That's all I want. Just keep it the same way I left it.
Now you see that most things that people talk about are things that are not really important. Going back to the issue of time, and I think there's one more thing that Elena has said to me about 1,000,000 times that I need to change as well. Now, it's that the things you really try to change about your partner again and again are usually things that are not that important. Like the time thing, it's a bit of a pain, but it's not an issue to go to the point of breaking a relationship, right? But I think it gets to a point where you have to accept that part of your partner, but also your partner needs to understand that even though your wife, your husband has to accept that, that's not an excuse for you to be radical about it. You have to learn to mellow down as well.
So are you apologizing to me in
Not
public
really.
or something?
Not really, because
Sounds very like...
that's how I am. But I think we've come to an understanding, right? Where I've learned to be exactly like that at work, but not exactly like that with you.
Because it doesn't work. And it puts a strain, it puts stress on our relationship. And I think this is the same thing to people at home. Yeah. And it's a complete waste of time, okay?
And I think another thing is worth us talking about very, very briefly, because we don't want this to be all about us, but something that Elena has said on numerous occasions is that few people get my sense of humor, right?
Oh, yeah.
I've lost count of how many people have gotten the wrong end of the stick because I said something which was a joke, but I wasn't laughing and the person didn't get it, right?
Yeah.
And they were upset until I had to go to them and say, listen, I was joking, relax.
And then when I get home, I have to tell James, stop making these jokes because people, they're going to think you are serious. And there was even an episode of a friend of mine who used to come to our house to have tea with me and have a chat from time to time. And one day, Mr. James here walked in and said, you again in my house? Don't you have a house? That friend of mine
I think people at home
never, ever again showed up.
I think people at home are thinking that I'm really terrible with people, which is not the case. But then again, I think my sense of humor has mellowed a little bit.
Thanks to me, right?
We try to compromise.
And this is what a couple does, you balance
what's
each
not
other
fair is that we haven't really mentioned anything that you have to change, and we're not going to do that because I'm a gentleman. However, let's talk about you at home. There are things about your partner that perhaps you've wanted to change for a while, and maybe you've noticed that those very things that you've tried to change, you haven't succeeded. Now, there may be a message there that you might just have to resign to the fact that you may not be able to change this about your partner. And at some point, you may even have to embrace this about your partner, right? And say, this is how she is, this is how he is. And that is not a bad thing.
No, it's not. It's not, because you learn with your partner. You learn, for example, James here learned to be more, more understanding, more patient, and understand that the world does not revolve around him and
not around me, but around my schedule.
Yeah, around you and your schedule.
Yes.
How you feel if things are not on time. Anyway, yeah, there's a lot of things as well that you would like me to change, like...
Of course, but we won't go into that because, like I said, I'm a gentleman, right?
Taking up running, being disciplined to,
Many things.
It's a long story.
However, on a more serious note, everybody seems to have this agenda that if someone is going to be with you, then they have to fit your mold, they have to fit with what you believe in. I think that's important, your principles. But that they have to fit your mold exactly how you want them to be. It's important for you to understand that I won't call them imperfections, but these peculiarities about your partner are very important, and they should be sometimes embraced. And a lot of people spend a lot of time complaining that they don't have anyone, and then when they do find someone, then they complain that the person takes too much of their space, too much of their time, and then I think it's important for people to decide what they want. Right?
Yes, and we've said this before, that, you know, you are dating. Dating is a wonderful time for you to get to know the person. But what you cannot do or should not do, at least that we didn't do that, and we don't think it's fair, is that you commit to someone, you marry the person, or you go and live together, and then you start wanting to change the person. Oh, I prefer you blonde, slimmer, shorter, taller, I don't know, and the person cannot do much about it, because she
certainly
is what she
not
is.
about shorter or
Yeah,
taller.
but there are cases. I know it's kind of a joke, but there are cases where I've heard, and I'm sure you've heard this as well when we counsel the couples, where there is this issue. Oh, but she, you know, I wish she was more like this or like that, and it's clear that you can't change this about a person. And you know what that does to the person? It completely destroys their self-esteem.
Absolutely. Now, here's a video that illustrates just this from a popular movie. After that, we're going to go into a break, and we'll come back to talk about this subject even more, and also to see the quiz from a very, very special couple that have an amazingly powerful story, and they'll be here with us today in the studio. We'll be right back.
What I want is a rather large stack of papers that I need you to sign.
Got them right here.
You do? You made my day.
Coffee?
Thank you.
You know, I know a notary not far from here.
Right now? No, I just had this appointment. It took me 3 months to get.
That sounds important.
It is. It's a cake tasting.
Like I said, important stuff.
It's the wedding cake, and she's Marilyn Hirschfield. She's a very respected cake maker. These appointments are very hard.
I love cake.
What are you doing?
Well, scoot over.
No, hey!
This cake is fantastic.
Please.
Hey, can I get another slice of this one, please?
I believe you've already tried the buttercream, sir.
It's not me. It's my fiance. See, she's on the fence about the buttercream.
I am not.
Hey, excuse me. You don't have any milk back there, do you? Sure.
So after this, we go to the notary, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, how much is this?
It's free, sir.
Bullshit. It's free.
Here you are, sir.
There's my milk. Would you like a sip?
No, thank you. I'm not 6.
Holy crap. Cake down. I need a spoon. Oh, don't worry about it. I got this
Here
covered.
we have our dark Belgian chocolate with vanilla mousse torte.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Oh my God. You know, if he mixes these two together, it tastes just like a ring ding. Maybe you gotta try this.
No.
Yeah,
No, it's not,
no,
not your
no.
baby. And no.
Ah.
No.
Ah.
Huh?
Huh?
It's yummy.
It's super duper.
May I have just one more glass of milk, please?
Atta girl. Milk for my bride. In fact, milk's all around.
Milk's all around.
Hey, where are you ladies from?
Germany.
Wow. You must really like cake. Yeah, you gotta try this. And mix these two together. Hey, can we get some ring ding things for the gals over here, please?
Darling, I am certain that everyone is being attended
Baby, I got
to.
this covered. Don't you worry about it. All right.
Quite a handful you got there.
That is.
Impulsive, unpredictable. You never know what he's going to do next.
Full of surprises.
But that's the fun of it, though, isn't it?
Of course it is.
It is, trust me.
Here you go, ladies.
It reminds me of my husband when we first met. Everybody thought we were a total mismatch, but we had so much fun, and we still do 25 years later.
Welcome back. Now, today we're talking, as you heard, about trying to change, actually giving up on trying to change something about your partner. Actually, the topic is, you can't change me. Now, let's just clarify something. I think it's important to mention that there are things that can change.
Yes.
And should change. So, for example, you can become more understanding, you can become more passionate.
More flexible.
More flexible. There are things that you certainly can change. When we say that there are things you cannot change, for example, there are things that Elena doesn't like. If she doesn't like that as a person, there was no point for me to try to impose what I like on her, because even if she does that, she might do it just to please me and she might resent me. So, I mean, you can try to make someone like something. If it doesn't work, then just drop it. I think it's important for the couple to know when they should stop imposing something.
You know, I was even thinking, I just can't not say this example. On our honeymoon, I remember I heard his mom say, because we went to his hometown and we spent some time there, and they have a tradition there. They eat snails, right? I don't know if there's a fancier word for that dish, but they eat snails. And then the first thing his mom asked was like, did she like the snails? Which means, no, she's part of the family. She eats snails. And I remember I ate those snails just to please my husband, but oh my God.
But it was important. I think even today, after so many years, I can't eat that anymore.
Oh
but
my
at that point, it was important that
my
at least you
goodness.
tried.
Yeah,
right?
but I did.
Yeah.
I did not resent you though.
It was the first and last time that you tried, but
yeah, wow.
And I think that's the important thing, Len. I think it's okay for someone to go to their partner, to husband, wife, boyfriend, whatever, and say, listen, why don't you try this? I want you to be more like this.
Make
or I
an
want
effort.
make an effort to whatever it is that they want the person to do. That's okay. But if the person says, listen, I've tried that and I don't like it, I don't want it, that's not me, then I think it's important that the other person says, fair enough. And if you don't like this, I'm going to love you in spite of you not liking this.
And I'm going to tell you something. I spoke to someone recently, another woman who came to me for advice, and she was really heartbroken. She was saying to me, I don't know what happened to my partner. Of course, I was a lot slimmer when we got together, and then she went through an illness. She had to take a lot of medication, and she did put some weight on. And he just would say to her, listen, you are so big, you look ridiculous on that, And the woman was really, really down. So, you need to be more sensitive, more, tactile to these things and think, hold on. There are things that I could mention, honey, do something. Maybe we can go together, exercise together. Don't go and say, oh, you are so fat that, shame on you.
It's the way that you put
exactly,
the point
because
across.
it's not even her fault, and she was feeling bad,
So it's very important to be open about the things that you like, the things that you would like your partner to take an interest on. And if your partner takes an interest on something that you are passionate about, then great. If you put, a problem or something that you don't like across and the person listens and changes, great. But then if the person doesn't, be okay with understanding that the person didn't like that, or that the person that you've requested, that you've asked, listen, make sure you put the toothbrush like this, or that you leave the sink like that. And if the person doesn't, maybe, Lena, some people, they forget about all the great qualities that their partner has just because of the way that they leave the sink. It's a pain leaving the sink in a certain condition, but maybe that guy...
But it's not worth fighting.
Yeah, and maybe that guy is faithful, hardworking, attentive, caring, but maybe he leaves the sink like that. Would you prefer a guy that leaves the sink spotless, but cheats on you, but has no character?
Yeah.
So I think it's a small price to pay that doesn't really...
Indeed, and there's so many other examples that we wouldn't even have time to mention here on the show. But look at this one. It's the person who insists in changing the other person, her partner or his partner, to the point that the person loses her personality. And if the person has a low self-esteem, she becomes someone else just to please, and she's very unhappy. Again, I've spoken to many women like this as well. Very low self-esteem because, I need to please him, and he is so demanding.
So it's a balance between trying to please the other person and still keeping your personality.
Yeah, exactly.
But also remember that there are little things. We're talking tonight really about little things that are unimportant that you've really tried to change about the person and they haven't changed. If that's the case, if you say, listen, my problem is that, I love my partner's character and their personality and who they are, and they're great. It's just that there's a few things that they do or that they like that I hate. Then take it on the chin. As the British say, take the rough with the smooth, right? And sometimes that's how it has to be. Now, tonight we have an amazing couple here.
Yes, we do.
Ignatius and Apollonia. Let's go and meet them in today's quiz.
Hello and welcome to this week's quiz. I have here with me today Apollonia and Ignatius. Welcome to the show.
Thanks to you.
How are you feeling today?
Well, thank you.
Let's see how well you really know each other, okay? This is how it works. You will be asked 5 questions each, and you have 10 seconds to answer each question. Are you ready?
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
Apollonia, I can't hear you.
Yes, I'm ready.
Yeah, show me some. Apollonia, I'm going to start with you.
Okay.
Okay? Question number 1. Time starts now. What's your husband's shoe size?
Size 9.
Correct. Very well. You'd be surprised that many don't know the other. Yeah. Question number 2. What annoys him the most?
When I ask him if he is not happy.
That's correct. Very well. When he said he made sure he explained when he keeps on asking me, are you sure you are okay? You know. Question number 3. What's his favorite dish?
What I know is he likes
10 seconds.
the chicken I cook. He always asks for it.
That's correct. Well done. Oh my God, I should have gotten harder questions for you. Anyway, question number 4. What makes him really, really happy? What do you think makes him really happy? 10 seconds on the clock.
When he's with me, I think so.
He said something else, but not that specifically. Time's running out.
I don't know.
Well, he said when you are happy, that makes him extremely, extremely happy.
Okay.
Yeah, so you got 1 wrong so far. That's not bad. But this is the last question. Are you ready for it? Are you ready?
Me?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Still 1 more for you.
All right.
What is he most scared of? 10 seconds on the clock.
I think when I'm not well, that's when I find him.
It could be one of his fears, but there's another one.
Which one is that?
Yeah, time's up. Anyway, he said that what scares him is if he's ever not able to provide for you at some point of his life.
Oh no.
Not buying you what you need or what you want. So you see, it's very sweet of him, right?
Very sweet.
But you've done really well. You know, out of 5, you answered correctly 3 questions. Now it's your turn, Mr. Ignatius. Are you ready?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah? Okay. Let's see how well you know your wife. Question number 1. What's Apollonia's favorite shoe color?
Shoe color.
Actually, let me make it easier for you. What's her favorite color?
The color that I know she likes is blue.
Correct. That's very good, actually. Question number 2. What's Apollonia's favorite food?
Fish. That's
Oh
for
my
sure.
God. Okay. Question number 3. What usually gets Apollonia really angry?
There's 2 things. One is when I throw socks, and one when I leave water in the bathroom.
Which one is it then? You've got 10 seconds.
Water in the bathroom.
That's correct. Okay. Question number 4. Which country would Apollonia wish to visit? That, you know, a place that she's never been before.
Never been before. Spain.
That's correct. Very well. And question number 5. You ready for the last one?
Yeah.
What makes her the happiest?
Oh my God.
Makes her really happy. You've got 10 seconds.
When we are alone.
No, you're running out of time.
No.
Well, actually,
Yeah.
let me help you here. She says when you travel together alone.
Yeah.
Just the 2 of you.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, you've done really, really well, I have to say. I know some of these questions sound so common sense, but honestly, many couples have not been able to answer all of them correctly. So you've done really, really well.
Thank you.
Yeah?
Thank
Are you happy?
Uh-huh.
Oh, you see, you do know each other quite well. Right, but now let's go back to James and let's see a bit more of you, okay?
Okay.
Join us soon.
So you saw, in a very interesting way, a little bit about this wonderful couple. First of all, guys, how long have you been together for?
25 years.
25 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's find out a little bit about how you met. How did you meet initially?
It was 1988. I came from the battlefront at the war zone. I was shot, nearly died. And I have to be...
You were shot?
Yeah.
What kind of war were you involved in?
I was fighting for the liberation struggle of Namibia from the South African administration. And we have to be exiled in Angola, Zambia, and all over the world. Most of the country, we sent our children there for school, soldier to be trained, and so on. Then after I was shot, I was evacuated from the place, the war zone called Quito Carnaval, to Luanda, which is the capital seat of Angola, yes. Then around at that time, she was a school girl, a secondary school girl. She just finished her secondary school in West Africa, and she had to come back to the settlement to teach the little children. Then that's where we met. After I spent a few months in hospital, not actually many months in hospital, then I was at the time of recovering. Then I was sent to take care of the logistic department within the resettlement where she was teaching, but on the soldier side.
So you saw her, and when you saw her, what happened? What did your heart do?
When I saw the first day I saw her,
what happened to your heart?
The first day I saw her, I knew she's my wife. I knew right away.
Just like that?
Just like that.
Did you know he was going to be your husband?
No, for her is the opposite.
He did not show me any interest because he came. He was going to a wedding. I saw him coming, and he approached us and he asked us for somebody else. It was a cousin, a distant cousin. Who was my friend. So she dressed up, she came to me, she said I should do her hair. So I was styling her hair, and he was standing there, they were chatting. But I did not see him looking at me.
You didn't notice him, but he noticed you?
No, at all.
No, it was,
I saw him like a big man, you know, family man. No, somebody who is really sort of above me. So
what I want to do, because their storyline is very... It's very powerful, but it's also quite long. So I want to skip through the details. Let's fast forward to when you got married. I mean, when you got married initially, had you seen any signs that he was struggling with anything to do with violence? Of course, we know he came from a war, so there must have been issues. But did you notice anything, or was he quite romantic? What kind of man was Ignatius?
Ignatius from the beginning. Well, I can say it was me more because I was, sort of like behaving, like playing hard to get.
Even after married?
No, before we got married.
After marriage,
we should do the
hard
same.
to get.
Yeah. So when we got married,
Silly question.
Finally, when I fall for him, when I fall in love with him, he was quite romantic. It's like we'll talk for hours and hours. We'll never finish talking. And really, he had so many good qualities in him. And it was like he's always holding on to me, always. Wherever I am, he's there. I wonder even what time he did his job. So it was like he popped up from nowhere. Wherever I am, the next thing I know, he's there, which I liked. But later, it became a problem because he will ask me, well, we have to earn a living. So when I start now being independent, like going to work, spending hours apart, it became a problem. Then he will have to ask me all these questions. I will have to answer, which I thought is okay with him. But he will never be satisfied with anything I explain. Then later when we go out, then he started accusing me. So I thought, okay, maybe he just loved me. But...
Well, he was a bit possessive.
Yeah.
So do you remember the first time that he was violent towards you?
Yeah, I remember. I was expecting our first child, and we went to visit his family. And a friend came over with a car, and he wanted to take him away. They wanted to go out because we lived far from his cousin. I needed to take a cab to go home. He said then I should just take a cab and go. Then I said, no, we came here together, so we have to live together. Then he did not say anything, but his face changed. So he stopped the cab. We went inside. We took off, went home, and on the way he was not talking to me. He just went quiet, and I can see his face. His face has changed. He used to have this protruding vein that runs across his forehead.
I know someone that has a vein like that as well.
Yeah. Whenever he's angry.
Elena has a vein as well.
Yeah. Whenever he's angry or tired, it really pop out. And you can't mistake it. It's really visible.
Something's wrong.
Something's wrong. Yeah, so when we got home, then he just told me, what kind of woman are you? You can't say that I want to go out with my friends. I was shocked because we always did things together. I did not see what was wrong there.
Was that the first time he was physically...
He hit me. He took a belt. He actually took a belt.
He took a belt.
How many months were you pregnant?
No, it's more than that.
5, 6.
Wow.
That wasn't, it's around, 6, around 6. Although I don't carry huge, but I was way far.
So that was the first time he hit you, and he hit you with the belt.
He took the belt.
Now, I know there were a lot of incidents like that, and we won't have time to go over all of them. There was also the incident that you pulled out a gun on your wife. Now, the interesting thing, Ignatius, is that we're talking here, and your wife is telling the story. You don't look like the kind of man that would do that right now. I mean, how long have you changed? I know that you dealt with, what did you do to deal with this situation, to solve the problem, and how long have you been a different man?
I seek for help. And when I seek for help, I did not spare myself. Once I accepted the help, I took it, and everything that I was told, I did what I was told. Before, if someone trying to help, I become defensive, angry, and leave. But on that day, when I received help, I sat there. I took the hard word that I was told, that nobody ever dreamed of telling me that. But that day, I took them because they were told, fuck, you were there.
I know.
I took those words and I went with them, and until today I remember most of it clearly.
But tell me something, if you don't mind me asking, sorry to continue on you. What made you want to change? Because you were violent towards her, and you, of course you had some anger inside of you because of your past and everything, but what triggered that thing, oh, you know what, I'm going to change, enough is enough. This is not working. Because for you to change, like you said, it had to be you. Because before people would say to you, you need to change, and it wouldn't.
No. It wouldn't
so
work.
what made you decide?
Made me decided to change is actually the love for my wife. Although sometimes I found myself a completely different person, inside of me, there's deep love and care. And also I wanted, and I still have that my marriage, my children, they have to grow up in a different environment. And for that to happen is on my hands.
So deep down inside of you, you had a desire to change.
Yeah.
Now, how long has it been that your marriage has transformed, that the violence is gone and he became a different man? How long, Apollonia?
It's about 14, 15 years.
15 years.
How has your marriage been in those 14 years? Because I imagine there was 14 years now, and before was very different. How long has your marriage been?
Well, now he's approachable in a way that if at all he's sort of like start manifesting that old behavior, I will step in and say, look, this is not right. And he will accept. He will quickly accept. He will apologize, and he will really try his best to make the situation, good for everybody. And again, we try our best, more or less. It's like we don't live in the past anymore. things that used to make him really angry, now he sees a different picture of everything, because to him, everything, even this cup, has got something at the bottom.
I have to check the bottom. What is under those?
Yeah, when he say even he accepted the help, I was surprised.
Right.
He did not turn around and start accusing me, because whenever somebody tried to offer help to him in the past,
she will end up suffering.
It is going to be my problem.
He would attack you.
Yeah, he will attack me.
Not in front of people.
Yeah, not in front of people. He never attacked me in front of people.
So those 14, the last 14 years of your marriage have been what? Peace, love?
Yeah.
Very peaceful.
Peace.
And actually, like I was saying, people who meet you now, you don't look like that guy who pulled out a gun on her. You are always smiling, always happy, always polite.
And people who know you, they know it's true. We've known you for quite a while now.
Because I found real help, a help that that has got no mask. One thing that my wife also didn't mention is the fact that the sign for aggressive has been there for a long time, only because of her love and care. She didn't realize, but I've been a very aggressive person right from the beginning.
But she never noticed that.
But she never noticed it.
Okay, guys, what I wanted to do is this. We have to go for a break, but when we come back, I want to talk to you about something else, because when you changed 14 years ago, it's like you started the marriage all over again.
Yeah.
Right? Am I right?
Yeah.
So we want to find out, what is it that you tried to change in your wife? What is it that you tried to change in him that until today you haven't been able to change? And also how you were able to adapt to each other to make things work. Because it's like it's like they got married again, right? From the beginning.
Things been renewed.
That's great. So we want to find out after the break about this. You've already heard about me and Elena in the beginning of the show, so now you're going to hear from them after the break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Now we've already heard the dark side of the story, Ignatius's dark side. So we have to make the second part of their story now a lot more jovial and happy and lighthearted, right? So guys, when 14 years ago, it's like you remarried because you erased the past, you started afresh, and since then there have been no incidents of violence and you've been happy and so on. Now, how did you adjust to each other? Let's say you had just almost gotten married again. What was it that you had to adjust to each other?
One of the things that we start adjusting to each other is the fact that I realized that me as a person, I was going the wrong way. So I have to do the U-turn. In that sense, making sure that my wife has the right just like I am.
And before you wouldn't do that?
No, she never had the right. Not even a single one.
Wow.
That I have to accept that she have right to speak, to air her views when she's happy, when she's not happy, especially when I'm wrong.
And actually,
you used to give her the soldier treatment.
Okay.
Now tell me something. He was saying that now he had to accept even when he's wrong. He accepts now when he's wrong, and are you able to tell him when he's wrong?
Anything.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Without the fear of being slapped
or fisted or
and
kicked.
Actually, we're laughing about this, but this is no laughing matter, right? And actually, you were saying that you stayed in this relationship with violence for many years, and we don't condone that. If you are in a relationship with violence, our advice is get out.
Get advice.
Get advice and try to get out into a safe environment. But that's a whole different topic.
Yeah.
So now he accepts when he's wrong. How refreshing is that?
Well, at first it was too good to be true.
Yeah.
Well,
she couldn't believe it.
It's like somebody has taken the Ignatius and not away and brought a new Ignatius.
Yes.
But it was a good Ignatius.
You know, when you're in a situation, you hope for better, but when the better come,
it's like no.
It's like it's not yet there.
It's too good to be true.
Too good to be true.
But you see, people can change.
Yeah. My wife, I remember she spent when I start the journey for change because it didn't happen just like that. It took time. But when I committed myself to the instruction, the guidance, the teaching, the advice, she was not agree that it's true.
Yeah, it took me a while.
And
to believe.
Sometimes along the journey, we changed seats. Now she became
the tough one.
I was actually wanting to see something else for him to prove that he has changed. It's like I was demanding for him to apologize to me for what he had put me through all those years. And it seems like he just wiped his slate clean and forgot about me.
And I became more happier, and that made her very.
And he just expected me to join in and celebrate. But I thought he owed me something. He owed me,
which is true.
Explanation. But to him,
now he's making up to you your whole life. Now look at him. He, on the quiz, he said, "What makes Apollonia happiest, or what makes him happiest? If Apollonia is happy, I'm the happiest person. Everything is her."
Not a lot of men will say that about their wives.
So he's making up for everything that he's done.
I always, even sometimes she come home or we come home and she said that she want to cook. I don't mind if she didn't cook as long as she's happy.
He keep on saying that, and I'm like, you are kidding me. You are hungry and you are telling me that as long as I'm happy, you don't mind if I don't go in the kitchen.
It's because inside of
so
you,
just do what just do what makes you happy. Well, what makes me happy is seeing you eating.
So, but it's good because what makes him happy is when you're happy. What makes you happy is when he's happy. So everybody wins, right?
But today we're also talking about small things, like funny things in a marriage or in a relationship that you wish you could change about the other person. Now, using the quiz again, because I found out a few things about these too. You mentioned socks and wet bathroom. What is that about? She's been trying to change you in some aspects.
Until today, she failed on that one. I'm trying.
But you're still alive. It can still happen.
I'm trying hard, and I believe I won't get old without changing this one.
You don't want to go in the bathroom where he just finished having his bath.
You see?
It's like you have sent some ducks in there. And
water.
It doesn't matter if the shower curtain is there. No. For him.
How many times have you told him to be careful with the water and so on?
Oh, many times now I've given up.
Every day.
And with his socks.
I'm sorry.
It
the
seems
worst
like
thing
every
is this.
woman complains about the socks.
No, the worst is this. He'd take off the socks. If he did not throw them, roll them, make a ball, and throw them.
Because men like to play basketball.
Oh, if he doesn't throw them.
But if he doesn't go in the hamper, if he falls on the floor, he
won't pick
missed.
it up.
So just you missed, right?
So yeah.
But these are, it's interesting, Len, because you were saying, simple things that you even said you gave up, right? But it's different because it's not a character issue. And of course, the men changing that, men putting the socks there and so on, makes them more considerate. But it's not necessarily a character fault, a character flaw. But indeed, if you change that, you said you want your wife to be happy. She'll be even happier.
I'm working on it.
But I tell you something, if he would stop throwing his socks or whatever in the bathroom, you would miss that. You would also be like, what's wrong with Ignatius? His socks are not on the floor.
That's true. You know why? He traveled for a month and a week. I actually told him, I have to confess, I said, I miss your mess.
You see?
No one is throwing socks around.
I don't have anything to talk about.
And it's funny, isn't it?
It's
funny.
So, it's good.
Now, true. Ignatius, what have you tried to change about her that you haven't succeeded yet?
Because we haven't forgotten about you, Apollonia.
Buying more shoes.
Okay.
Come on. Ignatius, you can't be serious.
Even today, it's a new pair. When it came,
Apollonia, Ignatius, you can't be serious.
It's not the right one. So I have to take it back. I didn't buy shoes, but I am the one to take it back.
Tomorrow. Because it's not fitting me as big.
No. This is worth me. Look at Apollonia. What do you mean I have many shoes? I only have 100 pairs of shoes.
I always tell him, I say, Ignatius, we got the rail for our shoes.
And guess how many mine are there?
I say you need only one row.
I don't have a row.
It's enough for you, and you should be happy.
I have a quarter of a row like here.
The interesting thing is that men, if they have like 2 pairs of shoes, one for Sundays, one for the week, they're happy.
Enough.
Yeah.
But ladies, they need to have one for the dress, one for the...
Of course.
But this is the amazing thing. I know that probably you'll never be able to change this about your wife. And maybe with a lot of hard work, you can change the socks thing and the bus thing about your husband.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like you said, when he traveled, you missed talking to someone about why am I not complaining about socks, right? Because it's like we said, Lena, it's little things that it's who the person is, their personality, and it's not a deal breaker. You don't divorce someone because the person leaves water.
But many couples, especially young couples, they make a big deal out of it. I've spoken to a few people who come to the seminars and everything. They're like, I don't know what to do to him. He doesn't take off his shoes when he gets home, and he doesn't do this and he doesn't do that. And I'm just listening and saying, okay, a few years down the line, you're going to love these little things because it's peculiar.
That's what makes you too.
Yeah, but some people make a big thing out of this,
But the important thing is that you changed the man that you were. The important things you had to change, you changed. And that is amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right. And she did change too, because due to the trail of violence in our marriage, it made my wife... if it was a car, it's fuel injection. A little weight like this,
an argument would start.
You are in trouble with Apollonia. Okay. Very, very short fuse.
But guys, it's amazing to hear your story. Thank you for being here. We can see that.
Thank you for sharing.
Your marriage has completely changed.
Yes.
The past 14 years have been very happy, like you said. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Indeed.
And before we finish, we just want to pick up on something we said here now, which is very important. There are things about your partner that you will never be able to change. Perhaps with a lot of effort you will. But some of those things are trivial and unimportant. So who cares that no matter how many pairs of trainers I buy for Elena, she won't pick up running, right? Because I'm sure there's other things that she wants me to do that I don't. And
but never say never.
Never say never. We're still young, still 21.
Yeah, right, I wish.
The important thing is to remember that there are certain things that is not worth fighting over.
No, not at all. It's about respecting. It's about you, respecting, embracing the other person's personality. After all, that's what attracted you to that person. And only you get to know about these little things. No one else knows about these things that your partner does, that rolls his socks, like Ignatius was saying, and it's these funny things, and it's all good. It's and actually, I remember you were mentioning this on one of our programs, on a video that you saw on a funeral, where a lady had lost her husband after many years. She gave a speech, a very touching speech, where she was actually saying, I miss this and I miss that and that about him. And it was all these little things.
The things that she missed were the things that initially would annoy her.
Yes.
So I think the important thing to remember is this. When you're single, you want someone to look after, someone to care for. Is it fair that when you do find that person, you complain about looking after them and caring for them? Because after all, it was those things that you wanted to have in the first place. So now that you have them, embrace them. If you can't change them, even better. Things get better, relationship gets better. If you can't change them, if these are small, trivial things and you can't change them, then embrace who this person is. Because after all, only you know about these peculiarities. And that makes your relationship unique.
Have fun with it.
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure to be with you. Until next time, have a wonderful evening.